The Los Angeles Times recently had an article on what an unbelievable mess Syria is. And not just, hey, it's a civil war, it's a mess in and of itself, which it is, but our role in it. So let me read from the article for you because it's devastating. Syrian militias armed by different parts of the U.S. war machine have begun to fight each other on the plains between the besieged city of Aleppo and the Turkish border, highlighting how little control U.S. intelligence officers and military planners have over the groups they have financed and trained in the bitter 5-year-old civil war. We told you. Oh, no. The smart people in the establishment, by the way, including Hillary Clinton, who brags about how she wanted to arm the Syrian rebels even before Obama did, right? She pushed for it. But we said, look, you give those arms to those guys. I mean, we've seen this movie 1,000 times. We saw it in Afghanistan. We saw it in Iraq. We've seen it over and over again. But within Syria, it's even more clear. You don't know who those rebels are fighting. You don't know which side they're on. You arm them, and guess what? They might use it against us. Or it turns out they might use it against each other, and it gets worse. Are you ready for this? Watch this. The fighting has intensified over the last 2 months as CIA armed units and Pentagon-armed ones have repeatedly shot at each other while maneuvering through contested territory on the northern outskirts of Aleppo, U.S. officials and rebel leaders have confirmed. CIA gives weapons to one group. Pentagon, the military, our military, gives weapons to another group. Good. Now they're using those weapons to kill each other. Genius. Genius move. Oh, we've got to arm the Syrian rebels. Well, that does help one people, the people selling the arms. Okay. In mid-February, a CIA armed militia called Fursan al-Haq, or Knights of the Righteousness, was run out of the town of Maria, about 20 miles north of Aleppo, by Pentagon-backed Syrian Democratic forces moving in from Kurdish-controlled areas to the east. So here's what I could have told them it was a bad idea. When they came in the room and proposed to give weapons to a group called Knights of Righteousness. I can't imagine a scenario under which that would have been a good idea in any language. Okay, so, but these geniuses persisted, and they persist today. Adam Schiff, who's a congressman, who's, I agree on many things with, but on this issue, he's backing President Obama, and he explains, it is part of the three-dimensional chess that is the Syrian battlefield. Oh, this must be the three-dimensional chess I hear about all the time that Obama's playing. Oh, I shall arm the rebels on this side, but I shall also arm the rebels on that side, and they shall use it to kill one another and need even more weapons. I haven't been able to understand this genius of this three-dimensional chess for over 7 years now. But the funny thing is, by the way, the Obama bots nearly disappeared. In the beginning, they'd be like, oh, Cenk, you don't understand. No, of course we're going to do this, then this, then this, and eventually Obama will be progressive. And 7 years later, I'm still waiting. And there aren't a lot of people claiming that he's playing three-dimensional chess anymore. And I would love to see you defend this one. Okay, now more. It only gets worse. The area in northern Syria around Aleppo, the country's second largest city, features not only a war between the Assad government and its opponents, but also periodic battles against Islamic State militants who control much of eastern Syria and also some territory to the northwest of the city, and longstanding tensions among the ethnic groups that inhabit the area. That's the Arabs, Kurds, and Turkmen. So I give you that as context. So you've got Assad, who's the brutal dictator who's with the Shiites that's running Syria. You've got ISIS fighting against him. You've got Al-Qaeda fighting against Assad and ISIS. And then you've got all these different ethnicities, the Arabs, the Kurds, and the Turkmen. And in the middle of that mess, the CIA and the Pentagon both think they're smart enough to figure out who the right guys to arm are. And then they disagree and arm different guys. And instead of fighting Assad or ISIS or Al-Qaeda, they fight each other. Okay, so this is the genius of the American Washington establishment. And if you dare question them, they're like, oh, please, we're so sophisticated, you would never understand. I'm getting the sense that maybe they don't understand. So, how does it get worse? Listen to this. President Obama this month authorized a new Pentagon plan to train and arm Syrian rebel fighters, relaunching a program that was suspended in the fall after a string of embarrassing setbacks, which included recruits being ambushed and handing over much of their U.S.-issued ammunition in trucks to an Al-Qaeda affiliate. Okay. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse where they're using the weapons against each other, they also gave a huge stack of weapons to Al-Qaeda. One final cute quote from this disastrous story for you guys. A lot of this is being led out of the Joint Operations Center in Turkey. Now, Turkey's our ally. Part of the problem is that Turkey is not allied with the Kurds, and the Kurds are the main forces we're using in fighting against the Syrian dictator and ISIS. Even bigger mess. And this is run out of an operation called Müşterek Operasyon Merkezi in Turkish. That spells out M-O-M, mom, okay? And here's what one of the rebels says. The mom knows we fight them. How's that for symbolic? Mommy knows we're fighting, but she still both gives us guns. Genius.